Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's Monday, that means it's Movie Monday. Today, Spider-Man Homecoming. That's right everybody, today on Movie Monday, on the way to Infinity War, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, the debut of Spider-Man's solo film in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. With me today is
Jelani, Bullard,
and
Brooks.
And we, of course, are the Pop Culture Philosophers here on Movie Monday talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. When I first watched this movie, I enjoyed it immensely. When I recently rewatched the movie, I enjoyed it even more. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. Tom Holland is brilliant as Peter Parker Spider-Man to me in this. Michael Keaton just may be the best MCU villain to date. And we're talking about the Vulture, and that's insane to me. A great supporting cast all around Peter Parker, all the way from Aunt May to Flash Thompson. Everybody around him, it works, it feels youthful, it feels hip, it feels like Spider-Man. They don't have to beat it over your head, the power of responsibility. They don't have to quote Stan Lee comics to get it across. They do it subtly, and they do it with a lot of explosive action. I love the action in this movie. I love the suit in this movie. I love the performances. I love the script. I will go on record saying that as of today, right now, this is my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Absolutely love this film so much. Jelani, what did you think about this movie?
I was going to say, that's a bold prediction. All right, then.
It's a bold statement.
Statement that you've made. I love this movie as well. Spider-Man Homecoming may be the best on-screen cinematic Spider-Man we've ever had. When he first appeared in Civil War, he was basically thrown in, but when he was the way he was thrown in made sense. Basically, what he did as far as growing up, everything that you learn to be how to be a superhero is in this film.
Yeah,
how to start off. And like he finally gets his internship with Tony Stark, and the internship is a new suit and a phone whenever he can call. Mm-hmm. So it kind of feels like he's an apprentice trying to learn the ropes of being Spider-Man. There's scenes in this movie that blow my mind about how easy it is to not find a building.
Yeah, right.
Flip. Or how easy it is or how hard it is to keep a secret when you're trying to have a double life. How do I keep this from my friends? How do I be Peter Parker? And how do I be Spider-Man at the same time? How can I balance the two? And it's marvelous. I don't understand it. Like you said before, Michael Keaton is amazing in this role.
Oh, yeah.
He's an excellent villain because he's not really a villain to me. Like, even the things he does, they're kind of for his family.
He didn't kill that guy, though.
He didn't kill that guy. And it was on accident.
No, he thought it was a different thing.
Right.
But he still did it, and he acted like he didn't give a shit about it.
He's a horrible murderer. But, after all, he still had his motivations. His basic motivations were, I need money. I was screwed over because I'm scavenging these parts, and they were taken away from me. I need them back. And this is Tony Stark's fault. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make money for my family.
Yeah.
And screw over Tony Stark as much as possible. And that's basically his motivations. And I know we're going into character development, but I love this film. And there's so much to talk about in this film that basically everything about it is great. So I love it.
Rock on.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Of course, Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15, created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee. Spider-Man is a super popular character. He's had popular movies already before. Tobey Maguire in the Sam Raimi films. You got Andrew Garfield in those Mark Webb films. This was like Marvel is called Homecoming, I guess. Of course, the Homecoming dance is a theme, but this was Marvel Cinematic Universe getting it back. He debuted in Civil War, like you said, and now this is his first full-fledged movie, and I just adored it. I loved it. Brooks, what you think about this movie, Spider-Man Homecoming?
I didn't like it.
What?
Really?
I'm kidding.
Of course he's kidding.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Very entertaining, fun. It's a new Spider-Man for a new generation of kids. They can relate to him more. like the setting, like him, planning to bust in on a party dressed as Spider-Man, just to build his own reputation up, like very the kind of thing a teenager these days would do.
Oh, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is great. Yeah, and it's cool because it's like you don't have to do the origin again. Everybody kind of gets the idea of who Spider-Man is, and they just kind of go with it. So they introduced the character in Civil War and realized we don't have to do anything fancy. We can just put Spider-Man on the screen. People are going to respond to it as long as it's done right. It was done right. Spider-Man is funny. Spider-Man is so quippy, so funny. Tom Holland is fantastic in this role. What do you think specifically about Tom Holland in this role compared to the other Spider-Mans and just on his own?
He is the best Spider-Man on film.
I agree.
I think, they couldn't have picked a better kid. And he's British, so it threw me off completely when I finally heard him speak. But he's got this presence.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Right. You want that to come out. And I really want somebody to say it. No one ever does. But it's okay. It's okay. That's why I didn't like the Garfield films. Honestly, I didn't even see the second.
Also in those films, and we're not getting into those too much, but he's just kind of not a good dude.
Mopey, dopey. Yeah, he's a butt.
But Holland's
the best. Holland could possibly, once again, he is the best Spider-Man on film. And he should get more praise as these movies roll along. I'm not sure what happens to him in Infinity War.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
But I'm really proud that Marvel has the property now, and it makes me feel better as a comic book fan to enjoy a film that they've casted properly. And I feel like the whole cast in the movie is great.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland sticks out as being, first of all, the main character, and also the best person for the role.
Yeah, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. What'd you think?
He was good.
He's good. Brooks is a simple man, and he likes simple Spider-Man. Now, what exactly about it did you... I thought it was a nuanced role. Like, he was able to be jokey and quippy, but he was able to handle those serious moments. And everybody talks about that No Man's Land scene of Wonder Woman as being, like, really, like, uplifting and, like, chilling. To me, this movie, when he's, like, buried underneath the rubble, and he's like, come on, Spider-Man. And, like, that to me is just, like, it lifts my soul. It makes me feel like I'm in church.
Yeah, I liked the Spider-Man a lot. I think he's the best of, like, the Maguire and the Garfield performances, because he has that kind of aw shucks teenage fuck up thing that Tobey Maguire had going, but he also has the James Garfield where he was quick with the quips and all that.
Yeah, and a little cool, but not too cool for school like Andrew Garfield was at the time.
He was too cool for school.
He was very as Spider-Man he was more confident, but as Peter Parker he's still kind of awkward and weird, and especially like when he walks into to meet his date's father and he sees it since the Vulture, he's just like
Yeah, one of the best things about this movie is that he is escaping from his life as Peter Parker in this life as Spider-Man. But then in the movie...
he doesn't have the angst of other Spider-Man.
Exactly, but in the movie they take away his costume because he starts relying on that suit.
Right.
And he starts relying on Spider-Man to be like a crutch for him to deal with the pain and anxiety of his own life, right?
I love
and then he learns that Peter Parker, is Spider-Man all the time. And it's kind of like, it's a really cool kind of theme that was going on there. I mentioned the costume. Let's talk about the costume. You like the costume? I love the costume.
I like the
Not bothered by all the gadgets.
Especially when he starts, I like when he starts talking to it. And
Kill, murder, engage.
What?
She's like, kiss her, Peter.
Yes. Or interrogation mode.
Right. Oh, I love
Intimidation mode.
Yeah.
I love
like
the
it?
suit. What was the name of the suit again? I forgot.
They called it Karen.
It's Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. I want a spider suit that talks to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that thing's awesome. So, I mean, I have no issues.
I know a lot of people have issues with all the gadgets and stuff, and I'm like, no, read those early Spider-Man comics. Like, Spider-Man is a gadget-oriented... You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess he doesn't get as much credit for it as Batman, but, Spider-Man has got a utility belt.
Right. I don't think, like... my only problem with it would be that Tony Stark made the suit. and not Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. And I know he wouldn't have the money or resources to do it.
Yeah,
but he made his
exactly.
and he doesn't have a way to do it. But he made his own webbing.
It's true.
So if he made his own webbing, he's making gadgets, and it shows in Civil War that he made his own homemade.
Oh, yeah, he was like bringing home like broken computers and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he was refurbishing those. So I mean, he's really smart, and I wish that they had played up the fact that he could make these things, and he could do this stuff on his own.
Well, once he's involved more fully into the Avengers, I guarantee we're going to get that.
I really hope so.
So you mentioned Tony building the suit. A lot of people also maybe kind of criticize the movie for leaning too heavy into Tony Stark being in it. When I rewatched the movie, I was actually trying to pay attention to this. Tony Stark's barely in this movie.
Yeah, he's not in as much as...
No,
he's not even in the suit.
His presence is felt because he gave Peter that suit,
right.
But he also takes that suit away from Peter, and Peter finds out that he's still Spider-Man even without that suit. It doesn't matter. All the gadgets, all the fancy, cool moving eyes, the interrogation mode or intimidation factor or whatever, all that stuff, like, it doesn't matter. He is who he is, and that to me is just the true essence of Spider-Man. I had no problem with Tony Stark in this movie. He was a mentor, like an Elon Musk to a young entrepreneur coming up type thing, right? It makes a lot of sense for the world that the MCU has built. Right. I love it. I thought Tony was so great in this movie. What do you think about Tony in the movie?
I love Tony Stark in this film.
Not too much?
I like Tony Stark, period, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
He's ever present. I like all the films he's in except Iron Man 2. Everyone knows this. But he's such a good mentor to Peter.
And he's even so awkward at it.
Yeah. He's still trying to learn it. He's still trying to learn his ropes,
Jesus,
too.
I sound like my dad now.
Yeah.
I'm just opening the door.
Just open the door. Not trying to hug you. Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Not there yet. So
Jinx.
It's a lot better in this film because Tony has matured in some forms. I think he's matured more after Age of Ultron, even though I'm still kind of mad at him in Civil War. But I think he grew in this film. I think he did more growing in this film than he's done during this period of time since Iron Man. I think since Iron Man, he was supposed to learn from his mistakes, and he kind of sort of didn't really, because he still made Ultron. He still did a lot of stupid junk on his own. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he grew it enough until he tried to mentor Peter.
Okay.
So that's what I believe.
All right.
I really like him now.
Tony Stark, Iron Man in the movie. Bother you? Did you like it?
I liked it. I thought
yeah. Too much? Too little?
Sense. Just
right
enough,
now?
really.
Just enough. Goldilocks.
Yeah, I didn't think that was like too much Iron Man or not enough Iron Man. I mean, he was there when he needed to be there.
Yeah.
It's not like they shoved him in like unnecessarily.
Yes.
I don't think. Like even when Peter's trying to hold the ship together,
and
he showed up, awesome. That was the perfect time for him to show up. And
that's so great too, because the first time he shows up in the armor, it's not actually him. And so in this one, he's like, if you really cared, you would show up. And he steps out of that armor. He's like, look, punk, I'm here.
Surprise,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this movie. I love that relationship between Tony and Peter, and it just makes so much sense to me. And along with Tony comes Happy Hogan. This is Jon Favreau's one of his most standout performances as Happy Hogan. He's got time. He's really funny. Oh my God, he's so annoyed with Peter.
Yeah, he is.
But they pay attention to everything that he's sending them.
It's like Peter keeps calling him like every day.
So he's letting him know.
You got a mission for me? You got a mission for me, Happy? Mr. Stark, have a mission for me?
It's great. It's fun. I love him in this movie. Right. What about Favreau in this film?
I love Favreau in this film, man. You've said it all. He's basically annoyed with Peter. He can't stand it, but at the same time, he's still there for him.
Yeah.
When it's necessary.
And Peter saves his ass in the end.
Saves him in the end. And he kind of realizes that he was placating this little kid. He thought this little kid wasn't doing much, and he learns that Spider-Man is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And it is something that can protect, not really protect Tony's stuff, because I think most of that stuff got destroyed, but
yeah, right.
He did a good job. He proved Happy wrong.
Yeah, and he's so funny in this film.
He is very
funny. So, Peter's best friend in the film is Ned Leeds, who's actually resembles more of Genki from the Miles Morales book.
Morales, yeah.
I mean, he's got the Lego Death Star and everything. The scene where he finds out who he is, that's all like exactly like that. But they made him Ned.
Yeah.
Okay. who is Ned Leeds from the comic book? It doesn't really matter. He's the guy that one time got kind of like coerced into being Hobgoblin against his will or something.
And then he died.
And then he died. And then he came back.
Then came back.
Whatever. I just remember when I started reading Spider-Man, Ned Leeds was a big deal.
Yeah.
He sure was. But this is a different Ned Leeds. I love Genki in this film because that's exactly who he is, and it's so perfect. I can't remember the actor's name, but the performance is spot on. The humor is there. The chemistry between Holland and
The
this
guy in the
cat.
chair.
He's the guy in the chair. Yeah.
I'm the guy in the chair. What'd you think about Ned in this movie?
Oh, well, I don't love him.
You don't love him?
He's kind of annoying to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not a downside.
Jelly's jealous.
No, I'm not jelly. I will never be the guy
I wish
in
I
the
knew who
chair.
Spider-Man was.
But man, he was just he was just there, and he was always like saying the wrong thing at the wrong
Dude,
time.
yeah, like when he's like, "Oh, Peter knows Spider-Man."
Yeah, stuff like that. He was just kind of annoying to me, and he's okay. He was fine. He did what he needed to do.
I think you don't like him because he reminds you a little too much of yourself. What about you, Brooks? What do you think
That's
about
a
Ned?
lie.
I like Ned. He was, he's your typical best friend.
Like one of those best friends that you're like, I can't even not be this cat's best friend. Like,
Yeah.
something is happening. We're just,
We click.
yeah, it will always be entangled.
It's like there's early on, when he first comes back in and he comes back into his room and he's taking off his Spider-Man outfit and he turns around and Ned's there.
Yeah.
And then he's just standing there with no shirt on, and then Aunt May walks in and
Yeah.
she never says anything about it. It's like,
Put on
put
some
her
clothes.
shirt off, I guess.
She say something like, put on some clothes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. Aunt May's awesome in this movie. Marissa Tomei.
Yep.
Very cool. A little tiny bit in this movie, but it's subtle. I love that bit where they don't go out of their way to explain his origin and talk about Uncle Ben or anything like that. But there's brief moments when he's like, I can't put her through that after everything she's been through. And there's a lot of subtlety there that I really liked. And I thought it was pretty solid. Out of the other cast members, who stands out for you? Because I thought that was it Michelle? Was that who it was? And they
Yeah.
said at the end, she says,
Michelle
"Call me MJ."
and- yeah.
She's hilarious.
Zendaya.
Yeah, right. Their Flash
She was
Thompson is exactly the kind of douchey Flash. I like that they put them all in a smarter school.
Yep.
So it makes sense that they the popular kids and Peter and the rest would kind of know each other.
Yeah.
I
And
like
they're all
that
still kind of nerdy.
I like that they used Liz instead of using Mary Jane or Gwen, building that stuff up. I love the cast around Peter. Even the kids that just have tiny little bits of doing things in the school, like looking through the window, like, what are you doing? Like, everybody's got a personality, and the school feels like a school we went to.
It's like a John Hughes high school.
Yes, right? Is it
It's
not?
got that feel to it. It's a John Hughes film, Breakfast Club kind of situation.
Yeah.
Pretty in Pink. It had a very it's got a young tone to it.
Yes.
And on top of the young tone, it has those serious issues with it. And the school was fantastic. The guy that was the principal was related to one of the Howling Commandos. You got to see the picture of the Howling Commando.
Wow.
He was the Asian principal.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the
Super
descendant
cool.
to
Yeah.
the Howling Commandos.
That's cool. I
So
didn't
that
pick
was a
that
good
up.
Easter egg.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You like the kids in the school, the supporting cast? Yeah, I thought they
They're
were so
awesome.
fun. They're so
Yeah,
cool.
man.
The party scene, Penis Parker.
I also liked Donald Glover's character in this.
Oh man,
yeah.
he plays Aaron
power.
Davis.
Yeah.
It's Miles Morales' uncle.
Yeah, there's actually a deleted scene that where he's like, it's him with his hand whipped to the car still. He's talking on the phone. He's like, "Sorry, Miles, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'll be a little late."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was great. That's a great scene too. He's like, "You ain't never really done this before, have you?" And he's like, "Yo, man, I got ice cream in here." Or even when the Shocker and them are they're selling him the weapons and they show him the weapons, he's like, "Look, dude, I'm just trying to stick somebody up. I ain't trying to blast somebody through time." He was great in that movie. He's
and
so
for the
good.
short period of time he was in it, he was awesome.
Yeah, and it's a nice
Yeah.
little tease into Miles Morales. Speaking of some of the more villainous aspects of this movie, let's talk about it. We got the Shocker, first of all. Two Shockers. Two Shockers, both of them wearing different versions of the... They integrated the costume, the orange, and I thought it looked cool.
that.
The little Shocker thing, it looked cool, and I thought it worked. And I like the idea that Shocker's not a character that deserves his own movie.
Not really.
But as a henchman type character, as a lead henchman, it works so well. And what's that cat's name? It's Bug.
There's Bokeem Woodbine.
Yes.
I don't remember the other guy's
Nope,
name.
it's generic dude.
He didn't last long.
Yeah, right.
But as far as characters are concerned, like the Shocker, They were great henchmen.
Yeah, great
They were
henchmen.
great
Like the Shockers, like they pulled it off.
Yeah.
The Scorpion was in there too.
Yeah, the
Scorpion
Scorpion's in
was
there.
there.
The
The Tinkerer.
The Tinkerer is in there.
The Tinkerer is in there. Mason. He's got Scorpion built up. But let's talk about the Big Daddy, Vulture, because Vulture typically has been one of the most like lame Spider-Man villains out there, to be honest.
He's an old guy in a green suit.
Yeah, I thought they almost made him cool in the 90s when he went a little young. You remember that?
Yeah.
Just had a cooler suit or something. But Vulture, but then you get Michael Keaton, and you give us one of the most well-rounded MCU villains. The typical, and we've been doing this for a few weeks now, and you've been following along with us, I hope, but you understand that we don't really think that the villains are the strongest points in some of these MCU films. But in this one, every mistake that the MCU film, that Marvel Studios typically makes in regards to their villains, in my opinion, they circumvented all of it. Mm-hmm. He's well-rounded with great motivation. He's actually threatening to Peter. That scene when he's in the car and he drops him off and it's just
pulls that gun on
he's
him.
like, I'll shoot you, I'll kill you, I'll kill you dead and everybody you know. He's like real. He's like blue collar, which makes sense for the Vulture, makes sense for Spider-Man's villains in particular to be that blue collar type villain. Like the Rogues, like Flash, Spider-Man have a lot of similarity with their villains, you know. And they also don't kill him off
at all. Thank goodness.
They cured, like, keep doing this with your villains. What about Michael Keaton as the Vulture, man?
First of all, keep him alive. Michael Keaton, he may be the best Marvel villain that they've had. He's you said everything. He's well-rounded. The twist about him.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
The twist
whatsoever.
you never saw coming from his character, and we probably could spoil it, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, we've already spoiled it.
Let's spoil most of it.
If you guys have not seen Spider-Man Homecoming by now,
really, you're just watching our reviews. But keep watching. We don't really get to see like more of him, like really become a villain. I wanted to see him be evil.
They spent so much time with Peter.
Evil.
No,
But they did spend a lot of time with Peter. But Michael Keaton, when he was there, his presence was felt. You understood why he was doing what he was doing. And that's hard in a Marvel movie. Yeah. Like, what's Malekith doing? What did Malekith do in Dark World?
Well, he was trying to get the ether.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's how deep it is.
Yeah, and you don't force in an Infinity Stone into a movie, and maybe it helps the plot out a little bit. But it's still connected and tied to the Avengers. Right. Still connected and tied to Iron Man.
But you can watch these films anyway. All of them, actually, and be okay with them individually.
Yeah,
this one is the best because it's an individual.
Do you like the Vulture suit?
I love this.
They made that work. I think they made it work.
I don't like
it. The suit's my favorite thing, man.
Yeah,
because he looks like a vulture. You know, he looks like a buzzard with the fur lining around his neck and the helmet with the eyes.
He's got the talons.
I love the wings, man. The fans in
huge.
them.
It looks cool, and it resembles Falcon's tech.
Yeah.
Right, which is super cool. And how on the nose he's a vulture. They're scavenging.
For
weapons.
Yeah. There's another in the final fight scene. There's a part where he like swoops down. And he picks up Peter like with his feet, and then like just kind of slams him. That's something like an actual buzzard would do. Like if they like if they find a prey that's still got some life in it, they'll just like
I love the movie, man. You were talking about that end scene, the fight scene. I thought it was fun and it was great. It was one of the better third act fight scenes. That part in Act 2 though, in Washington, that whole sequence is intense and amazing. Crazy with the elevator and the Washington Monument, and just great humorous drama, comedy, adventure. Action, so much, all wrapped up into a great Spidey ball, and I love it so much.
It's an amazing film, and if you haven't watched it, please go out and see it.
Yeah, you absolutely should.
You should.
And I also love the scene when he's trapped in the warehouse.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like, how long have we been waiting? 40 minutes. What? You gotta be kidding me. I love it, and it's just such a sense of responsibility, but they don't have to go over the top with it and too on the nose.
Right.
Man.
A+.
Well, let's get to the rankings. So, out of 5 possible ya digs, Jelani, what do you rank Spider-Man Homecoming?
Man, I want to say 5, but I'm going to do 4.5.
4.5.
Yep, 4.5. Because
still very good.
It's an amazing film. It's no Avengers, and it's no Guardians of the Galaxy for me. It's great though. I mean, I'll watch it. I can pop it in and watch it anytime I want.
4.5 is very highly respectable.
Yeah, I get it.
4.5. 4.5 you digs from Jelani. Brooks, out of a 5 possible you digs, what do you rank Spider-Man Homecoming?
I give this one a 5. I think.
5 you digs. Awesome. Perfect score from Brooks. Why?
It's because it's like it's got all the things that all of the movies I've given 5. It's like it's entertaining. It's fun to watch. You can watch it with anybody. Anybody can enjoy it as long as they want to.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. 4.5, 5. I'm going to rank it 5. 5 you digs. A perfect score from me as well. This is seriously one of my absolute favorite MCU films. Like, it's really hard for me to decide right now, but I think it might be the best. I think Spider-Man Homecoming might be the best film in the MCU. I mean, it's right there with Guardians 2 for me. It's right up there with Avengers for me. Winter Soldier, Guardians 1 and 2. Like, Spider-Man Homecoming is pretty near perfect for me, guys. I think it's so good. Best Spider-Man film, best Spider-Man, best villain in MCU, most well-rounded cast, best script, best third act, like best twist, best everything. Like, 5 you digs. Perfect score for me. 5, 4.5, for an average of 4.8889473.
It's more than that.
More than that, but whatever. Right. Anyway, what did you think about Spider-Man Homecoming, and what do you rate it out of 5 you digs? Let us know in the comments down below. We love talking to you guys about movies, comic book, pop culture, all that jazz. Be sure to join us next week. We are getting so close to Infinity War. We're going to be talking about Thor, Ragnar, Rock and Roll next week here on PCP Movie Monday, so be sure to join in. In fact, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button, the like, and the share, so you don't forget. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani Bullard.
This is
Brooks.
And don't forget, you dig?